If you are committed to aging gracefully, do not skip this one thing. What is that thing? Stay tuned. It's coming up next. Welcome back. Christine Byer here, licensed esthetician for 21 years. On my channel, we talk about your skincare journey because it's never one thing that makes you look better. It's usually a whole series of things. So what one thing am I talking about today? Devices. That's right, devices, our beloved skincare devices. And these are some of my favorites. I think when you're going for anti-aging, one of the first things people find out about is microcurrent. And microcurrent is important because it works on the musculature of the face first. And when we start to get wrinkles, we start to sag, it's not just the skin itself. We've lost volume, things are moving around, we can lose bone. This happens over the decades, right? And so when we go in and tighten up the muscles, it sort of fills out extra space, and then with time it works on skin texture. So you'll see that after a few weeks, the really good skin texture from microcurrent. But yeah, microcurrent's been very popular because it's safe. Most people can use it unless you have like a pacemaker or some sort of heart implant, that sort of thing. And it's easy to use. It takes time. And you're looking at, when you first start out, I would say 3 to 5 treatments a week, at least 20 to 30 minutes each time. And then as time goes by, you will go into maintenance, and that will be 1 to 3 times a week, depending on your age, your health, your hydration levels, etc., etc. So microcurrent is such a popular thing. And it was funny, in Well and Good magazine, they were talking about what to do after 40, after 50 in skincare. And they're talking, it's not just about products after a certain point. It's definitely about devices. Microcurrent adds energy to the skin. It helps the skin thicken up and look beautiful in addition to lifting the muscles. So it is just a win-win. Hard to go wrong with microcurrent. Another device you should consider would be a gua sha tool. This is my favorite gua sha tool because it is so versatile. I can go in with the back of it and do some lymph drainage. I can dig these little fingers up underneath the cheek or wherever I need to go. And it's just very versatile. Once you learn how to use this, it's really helpful to release stuck fascia around wrinkles. Repetitive facial expressions etch into our face over time. And so this helps undo the stuck fascia and the stuckness that happens from aging. So this is a tool I will never be without. Most clients love this. I mean, I use it on their scalp, I use it on their face, I release cheeks and necks, and I do all sorts of crazy stuff with this. And the skin feels light as air, and we're working on, we're working on circulation and microcirculation and releasing fascia. This just does so much, and anti-aging would not be complete without this. Then we can go in. I tend to like multi-modality devices, like something like the Curve. This is actually for the body, but we can use it on the face as well. This is a German-made device, very solid, and it has 4 different modalities. So here we're looking at radiofrequency, which I love because radiofrequency uses heat energy. It causes a very small thermal injury in the skin, which kicks the skin into wound healing response, and then that will in turn thicken up the skin, start to resurface the skin, and just keeps the skin on its toes, right? Keeps it moving forward and helps with anti-aging. This also has LED, this has ultrasound and therapeutic vibrations. So this is all great for arms, cellulite, and that's really what it was officially first made of. But you can use this for 5 minutes on the face, and it's gorgeous. I love to use it underneath clients' necks because you'll come in here and we collect so much lymph right here under our chin. And if you go in there with your devices and just make sure, pointing up towards the skull. You want it to be pointing up and not towards the thyroid. So you will just clean that out and then swoop, clean it out and swoop. I have something called the Vectors. I will link to the Vectors blog that I did, and it's basically moves that you can use with almost any device that cuts across areas of common facial sag. And when you go and have a professional heat-based treatment like radiofrequency, a thermage treatment, or ultrasound, oil therapy, something like that, these are the moves that they're going to do over and over to try to get some shrinkage. So you want to do your whole face, sure, go over areas of concern, but then you'll want to go back in and do these Vectors because they're going to help really give you that lift. And my favorite device of all time, because it's fast. See, when you get older, microcurrent's great, but I do microcurrent with 2 devices at once because I would rather do a 20-minute treatment like this and make it 10 minutes than doing one for 20 minutes. So yeah, absolutely. This device is 10 minutes twice a week. This is called the Time Master Pro. It is ultrasound, LED, and electric muscle stimulation. And so you're going to get a lift, you're going to get plumping from the ultrasound. It's very low level ultrasound, so they've taken it way down so that it penetrates more. So all those junky units you see on Amazon and stuff, it's not the same because they tend to do millions of waves per second, and the penetration is way shallower. So when you take it way down to like 90,000 waves per second, which is low for ultrasound, you bring it way down on that ultrasound scale and you get deeper penetration, even with 5 watts. So this is why this has been such a bestseller. This is Korean made, the bomb. And it also, the ultrasound will kill off any P. acnes, the bacteria that causes acne. So if you've got a stray spot going on, just give it in a little, you have to keep this moving. You never put it on the skin in the same place, but you have a breakout, you'll go in and just over and over that little spot, and it will be gone in a day or 2, which is nice because it just vibrates that bacteria to death. But this is such an easy device. It's a sleeper device. You're like, I can't do that much. When I first was introduced to it, I was like, whatever. But all these estheticians were just going crazy over it, and so I finally tried it, and I'm so glad I did because it gives you the lift, it gives you the plump, and it helps with spots, it helps brighten pigmentation. The ultrasound helps with cell-to-cell communication, it helps with cellular turnover, oxygenates the skin. It just is a do-it-all type of device. So if you are past 30, 40, 50, and you haven't added a device into your routine, please commit to that. Commit to one device that you love. Commit to it. And your return on investment will be amazing as far as aging gracefully. And I say find a device that you love to use, that's fast and easy to use, or it can be long, you can do it while you're watching TV, but find a device you love and use it. I hear people talk about, I've got this microcurrent device and it electrocutes me while I'm working with it. And I'm like, if you are using a microcurrent device that you feel that is not microcurrent, or it's too high or something, I don't know. I mean, it feels, true microcurrent is millionths of an amp, right? You want to be about 500 microamps, right? So it's 500 millionths of an amp. And so that's a very tiny current, and it's also very pleasant to use. And when you go over that, it's like using a sledgehammer when you need like a little watchmaker's tool, right? So there's this thing called the Arndt-Schultz law, and it states that the lesser the physiological stimuli, the greater the physiological result. So the less is more, especially with microcurrent. And I think people are like, oh, it's a better device because you can feel it. And I'm like, no. There's such a myth that will not die around microcurrent. Won't die. But no, you do not feel microcurrent, and that's where the benefits come from. That small current helps feed the tissues, and they'll recognize it and they'll say, oh, hey, I can use this. I'm feeling a little tired today. I'm just going to use this current that she's giving me right now. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. It adds energy to the skin, it revitalizes the skin, and it's just a beautiful treatment, and it shouldn't feel like you're being electrocuted. Now look, if you get around the hairline or something, maybe you'll get a zap here and there. I know with my Claire blends that really you're not gonna be feeling these. I had somebody that was going like this, and I was like, no, you kind of want to go with like if I want to shorten this, I would go like this, right? Because I'm going to shorten that. I don't have these on, but you want to shorten this. And so you're going to go with the fibers of the muscle, right? So to bring it up. And she was doing one of these, and the current's going from here to here. And I was like, why are you doing that? And she's like, when I get here, I feel it. And it's like, of course you feel it, because hair does not conduct, and unless you just washed your hair, you're going to feel it because the hair is dry. So if you have a microcurrent device that zaps you all the time, and you want something that's very comfortable yet has professional quality internal circuitry, this is randomized frequencies. I get such a good lift with this around my eyes, just a very nice lift. If you want something like that, try the Claire Blend Mini. It's made by, it's a older company that makes professional quality microcurrent devices for estheticians and doctors and nurses. So it is from a company that already was making high quality results oriented devices, right? And so they put that randomized frequency into this device, and that's why you don't have to stop and reset things. It's just plug and go. It's very simple to use, and you don't feel it. It's really pleasant to use. Also, I get a lot of questions about what order people should use their devices in. And I would say I would do release work first. So you're going to use your gua sha tool first, sort of warm up the tissues, get them ready for everything else you're going to do to them. Then you could do LED. This is my Tri-Light. This is just a little workhorse of a LED. Also continues to warm up tissues. Then you would go in with your devices that sort of challenge the skin or cause a small thermal injury. So you would go in with your radio frequency or laser or your Time Master Pro. You could go in with that. Those would be lumped in the middle. And the most important thing is that if you have a microcurrent device, you want to do this last. Microcurrent is always last. Why? Because when you want to leave the muscles taut and toned, retrained, and leave them there. Don't go and relax the face with your enema. Just leave those muscles up at the end of the treatment and call it a day. Call it a night, call it a day. But yeah, microcurrent is always last. Anyway, commit to your devices, at least one, and that will pay out in spades for your anti-aging journey. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye now.